Hey guys, it's Downhill Horizon, and this part 2 video is a follow-up to the trading series, and it's all about the auctions feature of Scrap.TF. So hope you enjoy. Now let's start the tutorial section of this video. So we're going to go to our site inventory, and you can deposit items by clicking this button and then selecting on your account. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's very self-explanatory, and your items are safe in this inventory here. You know, you're not going to lose them or anything like that. Scrap.TF is way too big to try and take your stuff. So I've got this Hong Kong cone, which I thought I would, oh, it's got an expired in 92 days. That might be a new feature that they've added, because I think some people try and just store stuff in here because they don't have enough space in their own backpack. So this kind of stops you from doing that for long periods of time, of course. So I'm going to make a little auction, and we can do that by clicking this button here. Now we have to select our item, which will put it up here, and this is everything in here will be auctioned off, and the rest of your site inventory will just remain in here. Now, another thing about the site inventory before I continue on is you have a limit of 5. Okay, you cannot put any more. You cannot deposit any more than 5 items in your inventory, into your inventory. Now, if we go back to my auctions, you might notice that I have had more than 5 items in my inventory. Now, the only way you can have more than 5 items in your inventory is if someone pays you more than 5 items. And if you have more than 5 in your inventory, it can pretty well just chill in here. I'm not too sure if there's a new expiry time limit or something like that you have to withdraw, but you can, or when I was doing this a year ago, and even 6 years ago, you could just recreate another auction and put up to 20 items in here. So if you had more than 20 items, if someone paid you, I don't know, 40 refined, you could only put an auction up for 20 refined. You couldn't go any more than 20 items. Which, if you're doing this and you do say get up to 40 refined or something along those lines, you'll have to split. You know, you'll have to cut it in half and have 2 auctions. One, and each of those have 20 refined. And from my experience, at least one of those maybe would get a bid. Maybe not both of them, but yeah, that's kind of just what you have to do at that stage. And of course, what happened for me, I'll just go on a little story that I withdrew enough metal to create a key, and I wanted to put that key back into my deposit, into my site inventory, but due to me having more than 5 items, I could not do that. So then I was just stuck with 1 key in my inventory, which I guess wasn't the worst thing ever. Now, back to the tutorial. The title and the item description don't really mean much. You can say something like selling or buying or something along those lines, or I don't know, just copy the name of the item. And if you've got like an unusual or something a bit of a interesting item, you might be able to chuck a description in there and give your sales pitch. Now, for the minimum bid, this is the minimum amount of currency or items that someone is going to pay. And then, of course, the instant buy price, and yes, you got the current conversion for ref to keys. But then your instant buy price is basically what if someone pays this price or more, then they've automatically won the auction, and the auction will stop. If it has 2 seconds left on it, or if it has 2 days left on it, it will end. Now, we've got public and private. Keep it on public all the time, because unless you're selling this to someone that you've pre-organized, you can probably give them a URL or something of the sort, but you're most likely going to be selling to the public, so that is the best. Just keep it there. Now, auction length, we've got 4, 5, 6, 12 hours, and we've also got 1 to 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4 days. For me, I would just put it on at 12 hours, just because what I'll do is I'll get up at, say, 8 o'clock, make an auction, that would go for 12 hours, and then before I go to bed, 9 or 10 o'clock, I would make another auction, which would go overnight. And then that way I could do a lot of auctions, enough, and have enough time to do that. Now, you can choose whichever suits you. Now, this is the big one, the currency in which, or what people are going to pay for your item. So you've got currency only, so metals and keys, any items in currency, and any items except currency, so no currency. if you click on this one. Now this one's good because what they pay is going to be what is given. That might not make sense now, but if we continue on over to any items except currency, so no currency included in this one, this item factor is important. So basically, it's got a little thing here which explains it. So percentage of Backpack.TF price used on non-currency. So what that means is if you're selling something, say a Hong Kong cone, and let's pretend it's 20 refined, it costs 20 refined on Backpack.TF. If I sell it with an item factor of 100, it means if someone pays me an item that is worth 20 refined, then it will come up here as 20 refined. Now, if I change this to 75, they can, or their 20 refined Hong Kong cone will only be shown as 15 refined instead. And then if this was 50%, it would be 10 refined and that kind of thing. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Now, allow skins and war paints. If you like skins and war paints, give this a click. If you don't like them, then don't, because more often than not, someone will probably try to pay with skins and war paints just because the market is absolutely flooded with them and people don't necessarily want them, so they might just try and get rid of them at any opportunity they can, and if they can get some value for it, then all the better to them, I guess. So if you are okay with accepting skins and war paints, yeah, give it a click, otherwise don't. And if you're doing some type of trading series similar to what I'm doing, if it's just for yourself or if it's for an audience, I wouldn't be clicking this because not everyone would want to pay for a war paint on the auctions, in my opinion. So the problem with any items and currency is the item factor will only affect the items and not the currency. So it will not affect the metal, the keys, and those items will be worth the same amount no matter what. But they will affect the price of the strangers and the hats and other things like that, which people might want to be paying with. So what I would recommend doing is if you have items, say like this, a Hong Kong cone, I would say currency only. Just give me currency, I don't really want any items, because then no one can really do anything tricky. And then if, say I have currency here, I'll just say, just give me items, I don't want any currency. Okay, and just before we finish up this tutorial, I want to go through this little button here, the blacklisted items, and I've got a little story that goes along with this, but we're just going to open this up and have a look. So these are all the items that you cannot bid with. So we've got all these default items here, we've got some hats, we've got some taunts, and we've got other types of items, like I think the Secret Saxton is in here, the little present thing, there it is, and other types of hats and maybe some festive items, and yeah, pins and stuff like that. So there is a reason behind this, and I've got a good old example for you. So I made one of my auctions here with refined, and someone decided to pay with construction PDAs. And the issue with this is that what they've done for all of these is they've just included a description tag, which has made this item allowable to be traded, and Scrap.TF at the time didn't exclude these items and allowed them to be used as payment. And to anyone that plays this game, everyone would not pay 1.77 refined for a default item that has a name on it, and so people were just using these to pay with and creating a bit of wealth through that. So that's the reason why these blacklist items are the way they are. Thanks again for watching, guys. Take care. Hopefully this video has helped or just been entertaining. So enjoy the rest of your day.